real wealth can only and only be made either through equity or entrepreneurship. There is no way around. I'll give an example. Most people feel that real estate is a better investment, but real estate compounded in Mumbai or any other region has not grown more than 10% per year. Most people in their lives don't have funds lying vacant in case an opportunity knocks them on the door. For example, majority of the youngsters hustling in Bangalore or Mumbai, if they get a very good opportunity where they have to spend like 40 lakhs for that opportunity is going to make you a crore. But you need 40 lakhs today. For somebody who does not have knowledge of investing in equities, mutual fund actually gives you a huge advantage.
Your advice to young founders is it marry early or marry late or क्या है?
Marry correct. Marry correct. Majority of the people who owned family businesses here and went to the US are the ones who really did not want to take up entrepreneurship. So the biggest problem is the easiest thing to do is something that nobody wants to do. Everyone is actually trying to chase fancy money. And when you are trying to chase fancy money, you actually don't end up making money. If you really want to do something, India is the best country to be in.
Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Chai Pe Charcha. We've got the young, dynamic Mr. Siddhart Gala with us.
Thank you.
तो ये मेरे ख्याल से वन ऑफ द यंगेस्ट लिस्टेड कंपनी फाउंडर होंगे जो हमारे साथ आज बैठे हुए.
Not a founder actually. But I am running the company right now. Not a founder because the company was founded long back. So
Been a founder, we've gone through the cycles.
with another company, a founder at another company. Yes.
तो ये आपका फर्स्ट टाइम है बैंगलोर में?
Yes, my first time. I was quite excited looking at all the young minds that I've come across since yesterday.
तो कैसे लग रहा है?
Here everybody is pretty enthusiastic, pretty young. लाइफ में यहाँ पे लोगों ने ज़्यादा धोखे या धक्के खाए नहीं है तो enthusiasm है which normally tapers down after you cross 30-35 where your risk taking appetite either goes down.
नहीं, पर यहाँ आप 40 साल के लोगों को भी देखोगे, 50 साल के भी देखोगे, उनमें वो enthusiasm वहीं पे है.
I think then it's the Bangalore thing. Anybody in India who has the enthusiasm actually ends up in Bangalore.
Maybe that's so. Is that what brings you to Bangalore?
Absolutely.
So let's just go back a bit. ये सब की शुरुआत कहाँ से हुई थी? Like tell us a bit about क्या था आपका background. So we are two Bombay boys today sitting in Bangalore. Let's talk it out कि शुरुआत कैसे हुई?
The story has quite a lot of turns. So I did my undergrads in computer engineering. I did my masters in financial engineering. Did my thesis on algo trading. Minors in risk management. Ended up in data analytics because that was the only company at the time which was willing to file for my H1B.
Actually, this was in the US, so yeah, right after college.
2015 I graduated from my masters and I ended up doing data analytics. Did it for 3 years. My company was willing to file for my green card. So my boss, he told me, if you're sure you want to stay in the US, if so, we are going to file for a green card. I told my father that my company is willing to file for my green card. What to do? My father said, करना क्या है? डाउन पेमेंट मैं दे देता हूँ, EMI तू भर लेना, घर बना लेना. और मेरे फादर, आई वॉज एक्सपेक्टिंग कि पापा बोलेंगे यार कि तू वापस आ जा, इंडिया आ जा, थोड़ा सब बोलेंगे. तो बोला ही नहीं, बोला इतना फटाक से डिसीजन कैसे कर दिया यार, अच्छा नहीं लगा मुझे. मेरे को नींद नहीं आया 15 दिन. घर पे बोला यार मैं वापस आ रहा हूँ. तो घर वाले भी बोले यार सोच ले because it's a one-way ticket. Once you go back, you can't undo anything.
Right.
15 दिन और नींद नहीं आई. 1 महीने बाद जाके बॉस को बोल दिया भाई मैं जा रहा हूँ, मेरा ग्रीन कार्ड फाइल मत कर, इधर जो करना था किया, बाकी का जो करना है इंडिया में करेंगे. आई केम बैक.
So just तो ये जो पापा ने बोला आपको कि रह जा वहाँ पे, तो यहाँ पे क्या था? मतलब what is the background like? क्या चल रहा था कि उनको था कि चलो इसको भेज ही देते हैं वहाँ पे, हम लोग को सिर पे चाहिए नहीं, ऐसा क्या था?
नहीं यार, ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं था. एट द बैक ऑफ द हेड, बोथ माई पेरेंट्स, दे वांटेड मी टू कम टू इंडिया. But they were always like, they did not want me to stop pursuing whatever I wanted at the time. And they believed in giving me independence. तो उन्होंने ऐसा कभी भी नहीं बोला कि वापस आ जा. वो डिसीजन हमेशा मेरे पे था. अंदर से वो चाहते थे कि मैं वापस आ जाऊँ. जो आप नॉर्मली भी कोई कॉन्वर्जेशन करते हो तो आपको पता चलता है कि आपके पेरेंट्स के दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है. ये जानता था. बट उन्होंने बोला नहीं. They were selfless and they said, do what you want to do. And at that point I said, यार अब मज़ा नहीं आएगा, जाना तो वापस पड़ेगा भाई. ऑल्सो एक ऑन्टरप्रेन्योरशिप का एक कीड़ा हमेशा था, है और रहेगा. वो अगर करना है तो the amount of capital that you need to become an entrepreneur in the US is quite high, which is not the case here. In India, we already had a base set up, so entrepreneurship is a little easier.
So, if, as you said, ki capital requirement, if I have to start a business in the US is quite high. So, if you have any ballpark figures, say, so a lot of students right now are there. A lot of people who are coming from family business backgrounds or coming from generational wealth, they are also there in the US or in Europe studying. So, if there's a student right now who's there and wants to start a business, is it even viable?
It is viable to start a business there, especially if you have a good idea. You need to have connects. Starting a business from the get-go like you would otherwise do in Bangalore is not as easy in the US. You really need to work in a field, take up a job for a few years, establish your connections, industry connections, build capital, and that's when you enter the entrepreneurship journey, right? However, majority of the people that who owned family businesses here and went to the US are the ones who really did not want to take up entrepreneurship. They always wanted to have a laid back life where you don't. Because entrepreneurs are a 24/7 job.
Right. Right.
So when you're not an entrepreneur, you're working 9 to 5 or a 10 to 6, Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday, you can switch off your phone and sleep. As an entrepreneur, you can't do that. So people who own family businesses and go to the US are the ones who don't want that hustle in life.
Okay.
Is something that
So they are usually the ones who are like कि चलो घर वालों ने बोल दिया एक्सपीरियंस लेके आ जा, तो वो कारण से गए हुए हैं. और इज इट कि वो अपना प्रोफाइल स्ट्रॉन्ग कर रहे हैं फॉर मैरिज मार्केट्स.
नहीं यार, मैरिज मार्केट के लिए जा रहा है कोई ऐसा तो आई हैव नॉट कम अक्रॉस. Especially everyone from Mumbai who actually goes there is going there with a dream, which otherwise taking a job in India at the time. For example, a software engineer back when we graduated in 2013, taking up a software engineer job and wanting to build things, your own house, a house for your parents, and a lot of other things, impossible considering the salary structure that exists. However, if you did a job in the US, you could save up enough to have your own house in the US, buy something for your parents here, and live a good lifestyle.
So I have always felt that the people who are actually going to the US, they are probably, I'm not talking about the cream who are actually talented, who actually know their shit and they're there, the right ends. So it's okay if you are average in the US in that sense. If you're average in India, you will not you will not do anything.
Absolutely. An average in India will land you an IT job where you're stuck
for life
for life.
and you are struggling to make ends meet.
Absolutely.
बट अगर आप यूएस में हो और आप अगर एवरेज हो तो आप यू डू डिसेंटली
जी
वेल.
सकते हो. सो मैंने आपको वही बोला, अगर मेरे को सिर्फ 9 to 5 काम करना है विदाउट एनी प्रेशर एंड लिव एन एवरेज लाइफ, तो यूएस सबसे बेस्ट कंट्री है.
अपने आप को आप एवरेज कंसिडर करते हो कि द स्मार्टेस्ट कंसिडर करते हो? यू आर ऑल्सो द CEO ऑफ a listed NBFC, so probably you have to keep that in mind before answering. We don't want to hit your share price.
So, in all honesty, चुल है. कुछ करने की बहुत ज़्यादा enthusiasm, सही वर्ड्स, NSFW वीडियो बनाने के लिए फ़िलहाल सोचने पड़ रहे हैं. बट if you really want to do something, India is the best country to be in. You have a market that's growing beautifully and opportunity. You know your land better than anybody else. You know your people better than anybody else. If you have to set up something, this is the place.
Understanding of market dynamics, of regulations, probably understanding the customer is much easier
Absolutely. Understanding where the regulations can be
managed.
managed, irrespective of the business you're in. Since you know your home market better, you obviously have an edge as an entrepreneur here.
So you said that setup was already in place in Bombay, I think, when you returned. So after returning, did you join your family business directly, और उसके बाद का journey क्या चल रहा?
Once I came back, I joined our family business. So we had a stockbroking arm, uh, which we've been in business for almost 20 years.
Okay.
More than 20 years we had been in business when I came. But the stockbroking business was a declining one. Traditional stockbroking was dying. New age digital or discount brokers was the thing. And competing with a discount broker being a old school broker was in 2018 very difficult.
So can you just break down what is a discount broker and what was the traditional broking like, and how it has changed after, say, apps like Zero or Grow have come in? Can you just break.
So traditional broking was when your customer gave the broker a call to buy a certain stock or sell a certain stock. You could interact with the person who was going to place your trade.
Okay.
The person would often tell you this is a good time to buy, not a good time to buy, or stuff like that. That person comes with an added cost. That is that additional brokerage that you pay when you go to a traditional broker. With discount broking, that one person is not needed anymore. You just place a trade, 20 rupees a trade, 25 rupees a trade, and it's as simple as that.
So today, do the HNIs or the ultra HNIs, do they still use this old school method, or is everyone today using a discount brokerage method?
A lot of HNIs, ultra HNIs are still using traditional brokers because traditional brokers now have equipped themselves to provide research. They come in with a lot of knowledge now that earlier didn't exist.
Right.
Brokers have equipped themselves to serve their clients better. The brokerage that generally is in the picture has come down drastically.
Right.
So the HNI customer also doesn't mind paying that small fee.
So it's for the added comfort.
Absolutely.
No, ठीक है मैं, because these must be high ticket value.
The deals are usually high ticket value. The quantum is bigger. But as a businessman, I actually don't want to track that stock on my phone all day if I've decided to sell it. I might as well call my broker, tell him I want to sell it today, put the trade at the best price you think is possible,
Right.
and I'm done. No hassles, no tracking that all day. I concentrate on my main business where I make my major money, and investing is done by somebody else.
It's
in a way.
passively taken care.
Absolutely.
You are not waking up at say logging into an app at 9 a.m. and checking कि market क्या बोल रहा है अभी यार बेचे खरीदे ये वाले चक्कर में नहीं पड़ना था. So you said that the broking business was a declining one in that way because of the advent of the newer discount brokers, all these applications that had come up. तो फिर क्या हुआ?
So we were actually distributing mutual funds at the time in our office. We were guiding a lot of people, not guiding enough people actually. We had a very limited set of clients when I had joined. But mutual funds, to me, became a product that was just a lot more than a retirement fund or a passive second income of those sorts. They came in with a lot of benefits. The growth was really good as compared to any traditional investment that we were doing at the time. And for somebody who does not have knowledge of investing in equities, mutual fund actually gives you a huge advantage, right? It lowers your risk because you have a lot of stocks in your portfolio. Concentration risk is lesser. Compounded 15% return is something that you can expect over a longer term. And I consider it to be the opportunity fund.
So opportunity fund मतलब कैसे?
Most people in their lives don't have funds lying vacant in case an opportunity knocks them on the door. For example, majority of the youngsters hustling in NCR or Bangalore or Mumbai in general, if they get a very good opportunity where they have to spend like 40 lakhs for that opportunity is going to make you a crore. But you need 40 lakhs today.
So it might be a say a distress sell of a flat.
Distress sell of a flat, maybe, or you found somebody who's willing to make you a founder, co-founder in their
Right,
company,
right.
provided you have that initial seed capital. It's something that you want to do. Maybe a townhouse somewhere in Karjat, where you just need 40 lakhs to make the down payment.
Right, right.
The rest it'll pay off by itself, or you can get a loan or any other thing, right? Any other way of financing. But you need 40 lakh. Now, even a youth that is making good enough money that should have saved 40 lakh does not have that money within. It is either in an asset that is not liquid, or he doesn't have that money. As simple as that. You do an SIP, again, to most people it sounds like the most Neanderthal way of accumulating money.
Yeah.
However, it works.
So because from where I come from, my age group, so in that sense, all my friends or everyone right now is in an age where either they have started earning, or people who have worked for 2-3 years and now they've started to earn well. So they're at that stage where ठीक ठाक पैसा आ रहा है. But for everyone, I think म्यूचुअल फंड ऐसा हो गया है कि यार ये तो मतलब एक बोरिंग इन्वेस्टमेंट है. A lot of people in that sense. So I was reading up somewhere that on an average around 25 to 30 million डीमैट अकाउंट्स हैव बीन ओपनिंग अप सिंस 21. सो कोविड के टाइम के पास पूरा आ चुका था कि अब सब ट्रेडिंग करेंगे, घर बैठे बैठे पैसा बनाएंगे, मज़ा आ जाएगा, मस्त गोवा में कर लेंगे, ये करेंगे वो करेंगे, वो सब हो गया था. सो वॉट आई हैव सीन इज दैट पीपल आर कि ठीक है, आई एम अर्निंग से अ लाख ऑफ रुपीज़, मैं चलो 10% 20% आई पुट इन देयर, बट दी थॉट प्रोसेस इज दैट ये मेरा रिटायरमेंट का फंड है, चलते रहेगा, बढ़ते रहेगा. These are friends who are, say, working somewhere. Now there are friends who are coming from business families. वहाँ पे है कि ब्याज में लगाओ ना पैसे, हो वैसे वाला एक है कि घर पे हमेशा ही देखा हुआ है 2-3-4% ब्याज पे लगाओ. तो लोगों ने बोला है, हम तो अपने घर वालों को दे देते हैं कि आप ये 2-3% पे लगा के दे दो,
बराबर है,
पैसा तो आ रहा है.
बराबर है.
फिर एक सेट है जो ग्रुप ऑफ फाउंडर्स है. अभी वो लोग के लिए हो जाता है यार, ये अभी फाउंडर एज अ फाउंडर और एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर आप ऑलरेडी एक सब छोड़ छाड़ चुके हो इन दैट सेंस. व्हेन यू आर स्टार्टिंग आउट इन द इनिशियल ईयर्स, वो लाइक कि यू आर ऑल इन और ऑल आउट ऐसे वाले सिस्टम में रहते हैं. तो मान लो 1 लाख रुपए भी है मेरे पास, मान लो 10,000 भी है, तो बोलेगा नहीं 10,000 धंधे में लगाऊंगा.
बराबर है.
तो ये म्यूचुअल फंड ऐसा हो चुका है, वो एक पेंशन फंड जैसे, पता नहीं, इट हैज़ अ बोरिंग एटीट्यूड टू इट. तो क्या है ये अपॉर्चुनिस्टिक फंड कहाँ से आया है?
So the biggest problem is the easiest thing to do is something that nobody wants to do. Everyone is actually trying to chase fancy money. And when you are trying to chase fancy money, you actually don't end up making money.
Okay.
Even in your house, if you look back, your family wealth was made in the most traditional assets that were available. Gold, real estate, majority, these are the biggest contributors to creating wealth. Where did people lose wealth traditionally? Stock tips,
Right.
right? Someone chipkauffied insurance
Yeah.
as an investment product. Insurance is important to insure yourself.
All banks do that, don't they? कि आपने कोई भी लोन ले लिया, उसके बाद वो एक निश्चित आयुष या कोई तो ऐसा प्रोग्राम लेके आ जाएंगे.
लोन वाला प्रोग्राम छोड़ दो. The moment a banker realizes you have more than 10 lakh rupees in your account,
Yeah.
he is incentivized to sell you an insurance policy that you might not need as an investment product,
Right.
right?
So these are those kind of products, right, where you pay say a lakh of rupees a year for 15 years.
And money back policy, you get that money after
और फिर
25 years.
15 साल के बाद इतना आने लगेगा, और फिर एकदम बेकार सा फकॉल आईआरआर रहता है वहाँ पे. पर उनको अगर पूछो कि आईआरआर कितना छे,
Amount बढ़ा दिखता है.
दिखने को
Compounded
लगता है.
interest over 25 years, the amount actually becomes really big. Even if that money is compounding at just 6% or less than 6%, that amount actually looks a lot bigger. But when you get it, you realize you can't buy anything with it. Or the value of money is actually depreciated to a point that it's of no value.
Right.
So, going back, mutual fund actually solves all those problems. most people feel that real estate is a better investment, right? But real estate compounded in Mumbai or any other region has not grown more than 10% per year.
Is it?
Yeah. Check when your parents bought their last house, at what price they bought their last house. It's the price today. And there are a lot of calculators available online which will help you calculate that IRR.
So this is for cities, right? कि मतलब city के अंदर the appreciation is not that much,
It's tapered.
right?
But even in tier 2s, you often see a jump in real estate prices which lasts half a decade. If you purchased anything before that point, you make a very good return in terms of IRR. After that jump is there, then things again plateau and they stabilize more or less anywhere in India. So also the biggest problem with real estate is आप पाई भर के real estate नहीं बना सकते unless you've taken a loan.
Right.
So the biggest way anybody in India can actually create an asset is mutual funds.
What about REITs? REITs. What is your view on that? How are they different? And ये पाई वाला concept तो वहाँ पे वही शायद बेचते हैं कि आप you can own something. तो ये REITs क्या है?
REITs is a very complicated product for people to understand in real estate. I mean, it's related to real estate. However, it is given to you in a form of an equity. And it is not something that will make you too much of wealth still. Because by the time the REITs is listed, right, the juice is already been squeezed by whoever was originally the owner of that REITs.
Can you just quickly explain to a layman what a REIT is?
REIT is a real estate investment trust, right? For example, somebody owns a piece of land, he'll convert it into an office. That office has a regular rental yield, rents going up every year. When you buy, so that entire real estate project, right, it is converted into units. And an individual can be a part by buying that unit. He becomes a shareholder in that REIT.
So is it only for commercial?
Yes. All commercial.
Rental yield based. So
Yes,
only
yes,
commercial
yes.
rental
So
yield, or
when
it can
you-
be a flat?
When you it could be a residential apartment complex. In India, we've always seen only commercials being listed as REITs. I've not come across an apartment complex or a apartment. An apartment building, if rented out, is again a commercial venture.
REITs. तो ये क्या है? REITs क्या है? As a normal consumer, क्या होता है ये?
REITs is actually a real estate investment trust where a big commercial project or a big commercial space that is already rented out, or at least some piece of it is rented out, that is generating rental income, is listed in the market where individuals get to own a piece of that real estate also. The gain that you will get owning the REITs, part of it is actually rental yield money that is coming in, that is distributed to the unit holders of the REIT. And over time, you see appreciation of property. Likewise, the value of that REIT will also go up. Sometimes it is also possible that a certain piece was not developed initially. The REITs had a spare land, and you suddenly construct a building on it, and additional rental income comes in. That's when you usually get a higher appreciation to your investment in REITs.
तो म्यूचुअल फंड्स का पार्ट होता है REITs भी? REITs is part of portfolio?
No, REITs is completely different. It's a completely different investment product. It is very different from a mutual fund. So because when you purchase a mutual fund, usually you are investing either in equity or debt. Equity being shares, debt being bonds, or commodities. For example, gold funds or silver. REITs is a different product. Usually doesn't fall under the domain of mutual funds. Like a mutual fund, it is also broken down into units, but not a mutual fund, because company that will be managing the entire real estate investment trust. In a mutual fund, you have a fund manager. So there are similarities, but there are two different products.
So say that I am a techie in Bangalore who is say earning 3 lakh a month.
Okay.
I'm say 35, I'm married, I've got a housing EMI of say ₹1 lakh already, and say expenses worth another lakh. Say my wife is also earning.
Got it.
So what should be our investment in an SIP or mutual funds? And what should I aim from दैट कि होना क्या चाहिए उसका, मतलब मैं डाल तो रहा हूँ हर महीने, तो निकलना क्या चाहिए उसके बाद, ये मेरा पेंशन फंड है, इससे मैं क्या कर पाऊँगा, ये वाली बात है।
अगर आप बैंगलोर में हो,
हम्म।
आप यंग हो, आप जो भी एसआईपी से पैसा जोड़ोगे,
नहीं, अभी यंग का भी अलग डेफिनेशन है, यहाँ के लोग बोलते हैं मैं 40 साल का हूँ तो भी मैं यंग हूँ, मैं 22 साल का हूँ तो भी मैं यंग हूँ।
आई विल नॉट पुट एन एज टू इट. Don't put an age to it, don't put a number to it. Irrespective of what you're earning, minus your expenses, you should be saving something. That saving can be allocated towards mutual funds that will help you create a fund for yourself. Now, a part of it is going to be your rainy day fund, which you can use for emergencies. If you've invested in equities, it will keep growing at an average of 15% over a longer term. What it will also do for you is make an opportunity fund. So if you come across a good opportunity where you are, needed to invest a higher amount, 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs, most people who actually could have saved that much will not have that much liquidity when that opportunity knocks the door. Right? At that point of time, a personal loan will also limit you to a certain extent. The interest rate will be crazy and you lost the opportunity. बड़ा पैसा हमेशा अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ में बनेगा, वो कोई रेगुलर चीज़ों में नहीं बनेगा, आपकी सैलरी में नहीं बनेगा, आपके रेगुलर छोटी सेविंग से नहीं बनेगा. हर इंसान की ज़िंदगी में एक अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी आती है, तभी तुम्हें पैसे चाहिए. अगर आपने वो ग्रैब कर ली, इट हेल्प्स यू जंप लीप फ्रॉग एटलीस्ट 5 years of your regular saving investing journey. If you are unable to grab it, you are going to be where you are for the next many years. Investing that smaller amount regularly, you'll be able to create an opportunity fund. Going back, if you have that opportunity fund, or if you have reserve funds with you, and if some opportunity comes your way, you can liquidate your mutual funds, get the money in your account in 5 days, and grab that opportunity without taking up debt. Now, most people in that case would say that opportunity fund is only for entrepreneurs or someone who is willing to take risks or things like that. However, you don't realize sometimes even if you want to switch a job, you are going to think about how your family is going to run or how your house is going to run. That will limit you from taking risks. Say you land up a good job. You think you deserve a better salary, but you're afraid that if I negotiate so hard, I might lose that job. If you have the fund that you've created, which I call the opportunity fund, even if you don't land that, it allows you to take that additional risk.
So is it also possible that, say, I've now, say, invested for the next 5 years, 10 years or 15 years, whatever it is. I've got a lifestyle that says, चलो मैं 2.5 लाख रुपए महीने आज खर्चा कर रहा हूँ. Say it's 3 lakh rupees a month that I'm spending today. तो what should be my SIP जहाँ से मैं मान लो रिटायर भी हो सकता हूँ, मुझे ये 2.5-3 लाख रुपए आ रहे, but say that's 10 years down the line or 15 years down the line. I'm talking as a 35-year-old, not as a 26-year-old today.
Agreed.
Say 15 years down the line. For most Indian working class people, I believe that their target is to retire at say a 45. कि बस हो गया, अब हम घूमेंगे. बट घूमने की बारी आती है तब हो जाता है कि यार अभी भी ये खर्चे तो निकल ही नहीं रहे आपके.
बराबर है.
तो कितना होना चाहिए, लाइक व्हाट शुड बी द टारगेट?
There is actually no quantum to it.
Say I want 3 lakh a month.
So
I want 3 lakh a month.
Understood. But it is always going to be a struggle between what lifestyle you are willing to give up right now for a gain that you might get in the future. There is a part of an ideology that says फ्यूचर का क्या है किसी को मालूम नहीं है, अभी जो है खर्च लो भाई, बात का किसी को पता नहीं है, और वो वही थॉट प्रोसेस से जिंदगी काट लेता है.
तो इज रियल वेल्थ actually created only through equity or only through entrepreneurship? Real wealth, like
absolutely.
कमेलियास में घर चाहिए यार मुझे, ये मैं क्या करूंगा 5-5 लाख रुपए या 2.5 लाख रुपए निकाल के.
Real wealth can only and only be made either through equity or entrepreneurship. There is no way around. I'll give an example. Mumbai saw the highest number of 100 crore sale flats this year. How many of the people who are doing a job for the past 50 years were able to make that 100 crore purchase?
Zero probably?
Probably zero. Majority of the people who bought those 100 crore flats are the ones who are either allotted good ESOPs, are founders of their own companies, conglomerates today, once a company, और entrepreneurship in one way or the other. पगार से 100 करोड़ तो भाई नहीं निकल सकता ना.
तो is that why you then, after joining this mutual fund distribution business of your family, you went towards that entrepreneurship phase with your company Canvaso?
Yes. So when we actually started Canvaso, there was a big void.
तभी तो कमेलियास का घर नहीं था, तब क्या टारगेट था कि क्या लेना है?
Actually target तो आज भी नहीं है.
Okay.
There is no upper limit to where I would like to stop. Okay. The aim is to just grow a company
नहीं कुछ
and
तो
keep
होगा.
growing it.
नहीं कुछ तो होना ही पड़ेगा ना. मतलब मुझे पोर्शा चाहिए. मुझे अगर आपके पास नहीं हो तो, अभी मैंने आपका पार्किंग लॉट देखा नहीं है तो आई एम नॉट वेरी श्योर.
पोर्शा फिलहाल नहीं है, but there is no end goal to it. There is no end goal to it. मतलब you say I want to accumulate this much wealth, blah 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 wealth. I don't actually believe in making a lot of wealth after a certain point. But in general, you want an entity, you want to grow an entity from something really small to something really big. That's a sign of achievement. Like for you, Agrify, you would like to grow to a point where you've not seen other companies in your space even be.
Right.
A real entrepreneur, the wealth is never the end goal. It is to...
It's I believe that it's more about the feeling कि यार मैंने कुछ किया है, मैंने कुछ उखाड़ा है. Because like when we were starting off, and even today for that matter, it has never been about those numbers की क्या है valuation,
वो important नहीं है.
मतलब it has always been about that feeling कि यार कुछ तो किया है.
Precisely.
And वो चला है. So what is the, coming back to you, this is about you, what's the Canvaso story, क्या था ये, and ये stationery से प्यार क्या है?
Our family business is Anupam Stationery. So anybody who's lived in Mumbai suburbs would surely know Anupam Stationery.
वो रेड लोगो जो है वो ऐसा गोला गोला रेड लोगो
precisely.
अंधेरी स्टेशन के बाहर तो मैं देखा हूँ, मैं बचपन में जाता था.
Perfect.
और बहुत महंगा महंगा आइटम बेचते थे. यूनिबॉल का अच्छा पेन होता था, मम्मी मना कर देती थी.
Perfect. So my love for stationery starts from there. It's just a thing. I don't know if it's a common thing.
स्टेशनरी पे जस्ट आता हूँ, जस्ट 1 सेकेंड. तो स्कूल में सब जो द गुड गर्ल्स दैट वर देयर, उन सबके पास बढ़िया बढ़िया ऐसे सब होते थे यूनिबॉल वगैरह. तो बाकी सब भी पीयर प्रेशर में रहते थे कि
यूनिबॉल
चलो पेन के नाम से तो बातचीत हो जाए. तो वी आर कमिंग फ्रॉम दैट स्पेस कि जहाँ पे पेन खरीदते थे या पेंसिल, वो स्टेडलर ब्लू कलर का स्टेडलर आता था. मम्मी को बोलते स्टेडलर दिला, तो बोलती नटराज है ना भाई, क्यों चाहिए.
बराबर है.
वो डबल का भाव लगाते थे वो स्टेडलर वाले.
स्टेडलर 8 गुना महंगा होता था.
अच्छा.
हमने लिया क्योंकि लड़की ने लिया. बट इन जनरल अगर आपने स्टेडलर की पेन स्कूल में भी मैकेनिकल पेंसिल बाय की होती, यू वुड प्रोबेबली बी ओनिंग द सेम मैकेनिकल पेंसिल टुडे.
इज इट?
स्टेडलर people bought for quality and you pay for that quality. Stedler actually also runs an NGO and it distributes a lot of funds. So for anybody who's interested, you should see how Stedler is growing as a company. But the products justify quality.
German,
and
right?
You pay for, yes, you pay for that quality.
पर पेंसिल में सर क्या क्वालिटी? पेंसिल तो पेंसिल है.
Ask the importance of the quality of a pencil to a sketch artist. He will only and only buy Stedler. If he's running really short on money, he'll buy lesser pencils, but he'll still buy Stedler.
तो मुझे याद है मैंने एक डब्बा बहुत मुश्किल से खरीदवा लिया था.
हाँ.
मैं वो वापरने की हिम्मत ही नहीं हुई मेरी. वो 3-4 साल ऐसे ही पड़ा हुआ है वो. फिर तब तक वो आ गया कि शार्पन करके उसको वापस जिंदा करना पड़ा था. कि हिम्मत ही नहीं होती थी.
एक एक्चुअली स्टेडलर पेंसिल आप शार्पन करोगे ना, यू स्मेल द वुड, इट हैज अ डिस्टिंक्ट स्मेल. You will be able to identify the Stedler pencil just from the smell of the wood. It's a thing. और कितनी भी पुरानी होने दो, थोड़ी शार्पन करो, आपको वापस वही परफेक्शन मिलता है प्रोडक्ट में.
हमारे टाइम पे बच्चे फेविस्टिक को स्मेल करने का कोशिश कर रहे थे.
फेविकॉल भी था यार.
फेविकॉल. हाँ. पर एनीवे, तो या तो कहाँ से आया फिर ये प्यार स्टेशनरी का, जनरेट कहाँ से हुआ था?
So because of Anupam, I naturally was inclined towards really good stationery. I had seen a lot of stationery in my life, and even now I really appreciate design that comes in stationery. Naturally, there was a lot of inclination towards art products. in the lockdown we figured there was a void between what was available online and offline, or what were the prices for online and offline.
तो स्टेशनरी ऑनलाइन नहीं मिलती थी मतलब?
You would get stationery, however, you would get stationery above 300 rupees, above which an Amazon seller can actually make money.
बल्क में पेन तो 12 पेन का बॉक्स
हाँ
बेचेंगे.
हाँ हाँ. तो एक आर्टिस्ट को हमेशा एक लूज कलर का ट्यूब खरीदना होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू विल ऑलवेज रन आउट ऑफ वाइट फर्स्ट. आपको वाइट कलर का एक ट्यूब चाहिए. ऑनलाइन आप जाके आपने देखा, वो बोला भाई कम से कम 6 ट्यूब लेना पड़ेगा. आप बोले 6 ट्यूब नहीं चाहिए भाई, एक ही चाहिए. तो वो ऑप्शन नहीं था. So that void we tried to fill with Canvaso. Also, there were products that were selling at insanely high prices online. Something that we felt was not justifiable for the end consumer. So we tried to, sort of fill that gap by bringing Canvaso in. We scaled Canvaso really beautifully. Our number of customers, orders, organic orders, our on-page SEO. So if you actually searched for art items, Canvaso's page will actually come in the top 3 in a lot of cases first. We know certain specific keywords where we actually beat Amazon also because our SEO was on point.
So was your backend in that sense managed by the Anupam backend that was there?
No. The entire Canvaso setup was 100% independent
Achha.
of anything or everything that we had inherited.
Okay.
We didn't take anything along. We started everything afresh.
Any reason for that? क्योंकि अगर कुछ बना हुआ होगा तो generally, so nowadays startups are in a mode where चलो asset light हर चीज़ करनी है, ये आदमी ये कर रहा है तो उठाओ, स्टिकर लगाओ अपना और बेच दो.
अनुपम हमेशा ट्रेडिशनल बिजनेस में था. उसने ऑनलाइन कभी कुछ किया नहीं था till that point.
अच्छा.
So when we started Canvaso, it was important for us to set up that digital footprint from the get-go. Nobody had done it in the past, so we could not go to anybody for advice also at the point. A lot of things we actually learnt on the go. As a first-time entrepreneur who is doing things on the go, we actually did a lot of things wrong, which retrospectively, if I look back, I know how to fix it.
So
that gave me a lot of knowledge, that taught me a lot of lessons, not only in terms of what to do in business, but also in terms of people. The kind of people that you will come across trying to grow that business. And at one point, we had somebody for whom opportunity with Canvaso was even bigger. And they reached out to us. And then we decided that, this is somebody who could run Canvaso very well. The reason we made that decision was also because we had plateaued at a point, trying to function independently as an art-focused store. We had hit a wall of sorts, where we were not able to cross that wall with the infrastructure that we had in place.
So you sold off Canvaso after running it for how long?
Almost 3 years.
3 years.
Yes. So I had another co-founder of mine. पैसा मिला. अच्छे की परिभाषा तो अभी अब क्या ही बताए.
नहीं, so for any founder मतलब दो चीज़ें रहती है ना. मतलब मान लो कि आप अगर वो धंधा बड़ा कर दो, हाँ, और you probably exit at a time where you are like कि अब मैं ले सकता हूँ कम मिल जाए. नहीं यार
नहीं. In that terms, I was unsuccessful in taking Canvaso to where I would have wanted it to be. So पैसा तो नहीं मिला क्योंकि तुमने वो अचीव नहीं किया जो तुम्हारा टारगेट था. तुम कहीं और सेटल कर रहे हो. तो
बट दैट कॉल अगेन कि in that sense when a founder starts a business it's their baby, तो वो कॉल की यार अभी इसको अडॉप्शन में डाल देना पड़ेगा, ये वाला कॉल
it's a very tough call. It's a very tough call. To leave something that you've been building for 3 years is a very tough call.
Right.
But sometimes you got to be that practical person, not attach yourself to emotions and just take a call.
So you sold off Canvaso, and then what was next?
So while I was running Canvaso also, I was running Anupam Finserve from the sides, where we were working on products that we could really build for Anupam Finserve.
Is that even possible? Like I have heard a lot of sentiment कि अगर एक फाउंडर है उसको तो एक ही चीज़ करनी है और बस वो ही करनी है, ये वाली बात है. So ये साइड पे चल रहा था. मतलब how
I was not actually actively managing anything at Anupam Finserve at the time. However, I was that fireman that anything wrong, any anything needs my attention, I would go to. Otherwise, my 100% attention was at Canvaso. The decision to actually sell Canvaso to somebody else also stems from the fact that there was a bigger opportunity that we had in front of us, which I was unable to grab. And running Canvaso at the time, I was not able to give Canvaso justice because we were not growing. There was something that we were not doing right. And I couldn't figure what. That in itself was killing me. And at the same time, I realized that this is another good opportunity. So we tried pushing Canvaso as much as we could. But at one point, we had to take that call.
So in the middle of, say, selling off Canvaso and then getting into the NBFC business, what was the reaction of the family? And were you married at that time?
I was married. But my wife Saloni, she's always been very supportive of what I want to do. She's discussed all businesses with me. She does discuss business with me.
She's
She
also
enjoys doing
involved
that.
in the business with you?
Not at all. She's a dermatologist.
Okay.
So we
अच्छा
only-
धंधा है यार ये तो.
हाँ, ये perfect वाला
Perfect
धंधा है.
है.
Perfect वाला धंधा है. So हम सिर्फ डिस्कस करते हैं हमारा काम, मैं मेरा काम, वो उसका काम.
अच्छा.
हमारे कामों में कोई सिनर्जी नहीं है.
Okay.
एब्सोल्युटली नन. मतलब मैं सलोनी को कभी कभी बोलता हूँ कि तू 15 मिनट में एक पेशेंट ट्रीट करती है, 5 मिनट में करेगी तो 2 गुना ज्यादा पेशेंट ले पाएगी, फटाफट करेगी तो पैसा ज्यादा आएगा,
रोलिंग बढ़ेगा.
पर सलोनी मुझे बोलती है भाई ये तेरा धंधा नहीं है, तू तेरा कर, मैं मेरा करूँगी. पेशेंट को ट्रीट करने टाइम लगता है, समझाना पड़ता है, समझना भी पड़ता है.
तो आपका स्किन केयर रूटीन तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा फिक्स्ड रहेगा फिर.
सलोनी एक्चुअली मेरे पीछे पड़ी होती है सनस्क्रीन लगाने के लिए, बट मुझे मेरे चेहरे पे कुछ भी लगाना पसंद नहीं है.
अच्छा.
अनफॉर्चुनेटली. तो
नो स्किन केयर रूटीन, ये क्या मार्केटिंग में?
यार नो स्किन केयर रूटीन जरूरी थोड़ी है. अगर वो ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जन होती तो इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी था मैं मेरी टांग तोड़वा. डजंट मेक सेंस, राइट?
So what has say her influence been in whatever you've been doing? कि क्या रोल प्ले किया? Like you said कि डिस्कशन होते थे, but how important role has your wife played? And again, to just follow up with that, even the fact that your father had already done certain things, there was a business setup, वो एक क्या रोल प्ले किया है फैमिली ने?
My family's impact on my life has been very visible in a lot of ways. So, inheriting the stockbroking business, we had a few mutual fund clients. From there, we actually grew our wealth management business. We today cater to an approximate of 650 families, which we've grown over time. Apart from that, my family's influence in letting me take risks has been very high. We both know as entrepreneurs that when you decide you want to be an entrepreneur, there is a risk element attached to it.
Right.
Without family support, most people cannot take that risk. You need your family's backing to take that risk, right? Saloni for me has also been that stone who's always been very sturdy. I could take whatever risk I could and know that she would support me 100% in whatever I did. And that's really been a very helpful thing.
So your advice to young founders is it marry early or marry late or क्या है?
Marry correct. Marry correct. Be sure of what you want in life. Be sure of what your partner wants in life. And be sure you are going to let each other do that.
इंटरेस्टिंग. तो यार ये गुजराती कम्युनिटी मैंने सुना है आमपुरी सेशन होता है कुछ.
Ambapuri. Ambapuri is a family gathering where everyone comes together just to have a meal, enjoy the meal, have fun, गप्पेबाजी.
पर गुजराती लोग तो
नहीं.
तो फिर फन
शुगर रश मिलता है ना अम्बापुरी में. आमरस. शुगर है ऑन आमरस.
तो सिर्फ धंधे की बात होती है?
नहीं
मर्दों में
usually the men will end up talking business. Usually the case. Otherwise what do men talk? अगर मैं और तू ऐसे अचानक से मिले भी किधर तो हम और क्या डिस्कस करने वाले हैं? हमारे लिए वो गो टू है.
तो उससे मतलब क्या होता है कि मतलब इज दैट कम्युनिटी मतलब कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है ये कम्युनिटी सपोर्ट, बिकॉज देर आर सर्टन कम्युनिटीज इन इंडिया वेयर द बिजनेस माइंडसेट इज देयर. मारवाड़ी, गुजरातीज, दे आर टेक्निकली कि भाई सिंधीज ऑल्सो फॉर दैट मैटर कि अगर मैं धंधा चालू कर रहा हूँ तो शायद कम्युनिटी आ जाएगी, सपोर्ट करेगी और आपको करा देगी, विच इज़ नॉट वेरी प्रेवेलेंट इन अदर कम्युनिटीज़. तो क्या इसका एक इंटरनेट रीज़न क्या है कि वाई गुज्जूज, मारवाड़ीज और सिंधीज फॉर दैट मैटर आर सो बिजनेस इंक्लाइंड?
Communities being business inclined is different, and community coming together to support somebody in business is a completely different scenario. So you will often see Marwadis and Gujaratis actually supporting fellow entrepreneurs. They have community NGOs that support businesses, and it is actually a thing. It is because no one wants to succeed alone. Everyone wants to succeed together. One That's one thing that really separates us from the West, where you're talking about not just yourself, you talk about family, people around you, relatives, and you're always trying to, help them out wherever the need may be. Community is a very Indian thing actually, and not limited to, I would say, Gujaratis, Marwadis. You will actually see a lot happening in other communities also.
सो कम्युनिटीज़ मतलब हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इज़ दैट इन सेंस कि अभी मान लो आप बैंगलोर में है तो देर आर वेरियस स्टार्टअप कम्युनिटीज़ हु आर हेल्पिंग पीपल आउट. तो इसका इम्पोर्टेंस फॉर द जर्नी, हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इज़ दैट? एक हो गया कि जो बंदा स्टार्ट कर रहा है, एक हो गया जिसने ऑलरेडी कर दिया है.
बराबर है.
तो नाउ जिसने कर दिया है उसका रोल अभी भी ये कम्युनिटी को सपोर्ट करना है या फिर वो एक लेवल ऊपर चला जाता है?
Community in any way, be it religious, non-religious, a startup community like you talked about, or people in a particular field, uh, it is always a two-way thing. You give to the community and the community gives you back. For example, you might make associations with someone who can really help you in your business, at your job, in upskilling whatever you're doing. You try to impart knowledge to the people who are maybe not knowledgeable, who are just in the same field as you are, right? Like you say, you get what you give, or you give what you get what you give. Yeah, give what you get तो नहीं हो सकता.
तो what does a Siddhart, who is today running an NBFC, want to do?
Our concentration is really on helping people grow their businesses by availing easy finance from us, so that they don't lose out on business opportunities. We really believe in trying to help the person who is taking the loan. For example, anybody who is actually taking a loan from us should gain something in life. It could either be to create an asset or to create your business. If you are growing, I'm the happier person giving you the loan to grow. I don't want our funds in any negative manner. For example, if we give you some way of financing to increase your business and you grow successfully, it's a relationship that we've built. And that relationship is really important in the long run. Those smaller contributions at good relationships, they pay a very good dividend to you in life in general. Not monetarily maybe, but emotionally, there's a bond, there's a friendship, there's a relation.
तो ये जो NBFC आप चला रहे हो, NBFC दैट यू आर रनिंग, इसका कोर एजेंडा, लेट्स बी मोर प्रैक्टिकल हियर, एट द एंड ऑफ द डे पैसा बनाना कोर मोटिव है? बिकॉज पैसा तो एंड ऑफ द डे ज़रूरी है, राइट? मीन्स यू कांट
100%.
दैट. सो पैसा देना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है या वो राइचियस फीलिंग होना कि आई हैव हेल्प्ड समवन एंड आई एम हेल्पिंग हिज बिजनेस ग्रो, हिज और हर बिजनेस ग्रो, क्या वो ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है कि पैसा एट द एंड ऑफ द डे? बिकॉज देयर माइट बी कॉल्स दैट यू वुड हैव टेकन वेयर यार मैं उसको पैसा दे दूंगा, शायद पैसा वापस आ भी जाएगा बट इसको तकलीफ होगी. सो how do you draw a line there, and what is your motive as you as a person? How do you deal with that?
So it's a very difficult line where you're trying to grasp an opportunity in terms of making money, but also you want the other person who is taking that money from you, he should have an opportunity where the money that he pays me is justified. That's the line. It's a very tight rope walk, but I think we're doing it fairly well. Wherein anybody who is requesting funds from us, our first motive is it should be helping them in a way that trying to solve a problem for them. For example, you have a bigger order, you're unable to fulfill it because you're falling short of funds. Anupam Finser will more than be happy to make that fund available to you. That enables you to grow. If you are growing, we are the happier person. And the price you pay or the money I earn has to be justified for the growth that you're doing. That's always the philosophy.
Right. So how do you exactly see the credit landscape in India right now, given that we are growing at a very fast pace? So what are the opportunities that you see that can be unlocked or that are there on offer that can be grabbed as an NBFC, as a business who is into lending people?
Invoice discounting and loan against securities are some two of the biggest avenues that we are looking at to grow. The third that we are looking at, or we are already growing in really fast, is solar financing. So when you actually use funds to install rooftop solar, if you take an EMI, you pay it off in 4 to 5 years, and the rest you're actually getting free electricity. All you get to do is just make sure that the panels are cleaner, right? That way you've solved an energy piece, you've solved a client's problem for a very long time. So that's something that we are very aggressively approaching. Loan against securities is you will always make investments where you don't want to sell it at a particular time when you need money.
So loan against securities are, say, shares?
Loan against shares, loan against mutual funds, or a loan against property, right? A loan against shares is pretty easy. You can avail it within a span of 30 odd minutes.
Okay.
A loan against mutual fund is equally quicker. And a loan against property usually takes some time. But that's also another way that you can unlock funds. So you don't want to sell the underlying asset, but you want to use that asset to available financing at a lower interest rate where it can really help you.
So loan against mutual fund would be that चलो हमने पैसे डाल दिए mutual fund में, I'm invested in the mutual fund, but yet Anupam is there to say fund me and make sure that...
Precisely. So if you say want funds for 2 to 3 months, would you sell the mutual funds that you've collected over 15 years? Maybe not. You need money only for 2 months, right? So might as well just take a loan at a lower interest rate since it is backed by a security and use those funds for whatever purpose you may need in business or personally and pay it off in 2 months. You might not have to sell that asset that you've been building for over 15 years or 10 years or 5 years.
So now in a geopolitical sense, where we have seen over the last few years, rather 2 to 3 years, that global tensions have been rising, कि कोई ना कोई country बोल देता है कि चलो हमें ये area चाहिए, there are extremists going around, whatever it is. And most recently with even India-Pakistan tensions rising, how as a person coming from, you can say, a finance perspective, as an entrepreneur also, you can say that how can a business, be it a young business, more so because probably bigger businesses have certain ways in which they protect themselves, but a young business, young startups, or even as a lender, how can you in a way protect yourself or ensure that risk is mitigated?
On an individual level.
Rather, even an investor level. So if I'm a person who is buying stocks, I'm not a day trader today, but say I'm buying stocks, I'm buying mutual funds. So how can I in a way protect myself against it?
The way we've seen the world evolving, geopolitical risk is something that is not going to go away. Right now it is between India and Pakistan. In future it could be either with India and China, or it could be the US with some other nation, and so on and so forth.
We've got beautiful neighbors as a country.
No words to that, right? However, we've seen risk can actually come to you in a lot of different ways, not only geopolitical. At that point of time, it is very important that you have a fund that is prepared, that fund that can take care of whatever unknowns you may be facing, right? As simple as if you're doing a job or if you're salaried, if you have a fund that is prepared, you don't have to worry about your job. You don't have to worry about your company closing down. Also, it creates an opportunity for you. If the world is falling, that means everyone's trying to sell. There is no buyer. which is usually the ideal time to buy something, where you can create generational wealth,
Got
right?
it.
So that opportunity concept comes back in.
The biggest businesses are built during a crisis.
Absolutely, absolutely. Angel broking is actually an example. When the world was falling apart during the 2007-8 crisis, they were actually setting up themselves for the next decade, not worrying about what was actually happening at the time.
So thank you so much, Siddhart, for doing this. It was great having you here. And ladies and gentlemen, please like, share, and subscribe. This keeps us going. And thank you so much for watching this. Please tune in to the next one. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.